Hey guys, I'm a little bit early. I'm going to give everybody just a minute to join here. Make sure everything is set up okay. See here. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Kristen from A Mindful Mom, and I am here today to cook live with you. And I'm also here just to answer any questions you have, take requests for future recipes. So if you're here, be sure to say hi, let me know where you're from, let me know what the weather is, drop a comment, let me know what recipe you want to see me make, anything, ask questions. Oh, hi from San Francisco Bay Area. Oh, beautiful, beautiful area. I hope the weather's nice there today. I'm in the Charleston, South Carolina area. For those of you who are new here, it is a beautiful sunny day here. I had been in Ohio earlier this week visiting family, and I had some doctor's appointments up there as well, and it snowed on me. That was my first day of spring, was flying to Ohio and having sleet fall on me, which was not fun at all. Southwestern Virginia, welcome Cecilia. Thank you for being here. I hope that you're having a beautiful sunny day there as well. Today we are making a recipe that has kind of been floating around the internet. I've seen it on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Reels. We're gonna make a high protein air fryer recipe. A lot of people are looking for more ways to get protein in their diet, and this recipe is for Greek yogurt bagels. So we are gonna make delicious bagels. They are not really going to be traditional boiled bagels. Using our air fryer, you can use the oven as well, with just a few ingredients and Greek yogurt to bump up the protein. So this is a great recipe if you're just looking for a quick snack, a quick breakfast, or some ways to get a little extra protein in your diet. It's great. So I'll walk you guys through that. And I couldn't believe the snow either. No, Ohio. Yeah, I was like, come on, guys. It's the first day of spring. Although, funny story, I had my son in Ohio March 29th. So he's going to be 20 years old next week. I went into the hospital, beautiful sunny day, came out of the hospital, and it was a snowstorm. So, I mean, that's Ohio for you. So spring, doesn't really know what it wants to do. But I like the warmer weather. I like the sunshine. It just makes me a much happier person. I don't know about you guys, but I was made for the warm weather. So back to our bagels here. So I have in this bowl here 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To make bagels using Greek yogurt, and you've probably, or maybe you haven't, maybe you've seen before, you can make like pizza crust with Greek yogurt, and you'll see like 2 ingredient bagels or 2 ingredient pizza dough. And it's really not 2 ingredients unless you have self-rise flour in your pantry. I never keep self-rise flour in my pantry. As you guys know, I'm not really big on keeping a bunch of different random ingredients. I like to try to keep things simple, like to use what I have, like to keep things affordable. So I want to show you how you can make self-rise flour, because there's no need to purchase self-rise flour just to make these bagels or pizza dough or any recipe that calls for self-rise flour. So for every 1 cup of flour, to make self-rise flour, you add a 1/4 teaspoon of table salt, not kosher salt, so iodized salt here. Welcome from South Korea. Thanks for joining. And then you want 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I have 2 cups of flour, so I'm doubling that today. So I'm using 1/2 teaspoon of iodized salt and 1 tablespoon, which is 3 teaspoons of baking powder. That's all you need for self-rise flour. The baking powder and the salt are gonna work together just to give the flour a little bit of rise, so you don't need any yeast in this recipe. And then we're just gonna use a fork or a whisk and just mix that together to distribute. All right, So there we go. That's self-rise flour. So let me see here. I need to grab another bowl. 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. Thought I had everything set up there and just forgot to grab my other mixing bowl from the side. So for these bagels, we're going to make about 4 bagels, and we're going to use 1 cup of plain, you can use full fat or low fat or non-fat Greek yogurt. You can even use my Instant Pot yogurt recipe, which is what I do. That's just strained yogurt so that it's nice and thick. So we have 1 cup here. Now, here is hello from Canada. I was originally born in Canada, in Ontario. Lived in the States for most of my life though, but beautiful area. Love Canada. So we have 1 cup of Greek yogurt. And to that, we're gonna add in 1 1/4 cup of our self-rise flour that we made. Now, depending on the humidity of where you live, the humidity in your kitchen, you may need up to almost 2 cups of flour. So that's why I always recommend making the full 2 cups, and then you can just use what you need and save it for a recipe in another time. So we're looking for a dough here that can hold its shape. It's a little bit wet, but not too sticky. So I'm adding in 1 1/4 cup flour there and mix that together. Glad you're doing well, Doreen. I hope you all are doing well. I'm so grateful for those of you who are joining me here today. Doing lives is something a little bit different, a little bit unpolished, but it's fun to get to chat with you guys, and I appreciate it and get to see, things are definitely not always perfect or don't go as planned. And so it's kind of fun to see how somebody can pivot from that, because I'm all about making what you have work for you. So we're just gonna stir this together with a fork so we don't overwork it here, and it's gonna be a little bit loose. Oh, hello from Germany, welcome, thank you so much for joining. So you can see here, it is still pretty sticky. You see how it's sticking to my fingers there? So we're gonna add in just a little bit more flour. I'm gonna add in about 1 tablespoon at a time, and then we're gonna knead it just a little bit, just a couple minutes to get it to form a nice little dough that we're gonna divide into quarters and make bagels. So, like I said, these are not really bagels. Not like you get in New York City where they're the hand-rolled boiled bagels that are unbelievably delicious. I love a good bagels. But these are super easy to make and super good for you in the sense that they're high in protein and just kind of a fun, quick treat. Oh, thank you so much, Jonathan. I'm so grateful that you love my recipes. I absolutely love being able to share with you my family's recipes and just ways, hopefully, to make your lives a little bit easier, taste a little bit better. So the dough here, you can see it's not perfectly combined. That's okay. Whenever you're working with a dough and you're gonna knead it, you don't wanna over mix it. You wanna kind of just bring it together, and then I'm gonna use a little silicone baking mat here. You can use a piece of parchment paper. You can use a clean counter. We're just kneading the dough. I'm just gonna take a little bit of our flour here, sprinkle it out. I'm gonna just dump this dough onto the mat and kind of just bring it together here. So while I'm doing that, let me know in the comments anything that you guys have requests for. I did get quite a few requests for future recipes. So coca vin is on my recipe radar. And I love, let's see what else. Some more slow cooker recipes you guys are wanting, and more air fryer recipes. We're gonna make an air fryer recipe today. Yesterday I shared with a video for my air fryer French fry. And it is the easiest, cheapest thing in the world, but we eat it we have that side dish once a week. We just love it so much. And I mean, so good. And oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying my recipes. I'm so glad that I've helped so many of you learn to use your Instant Pot. Can definitely be a little bit of a learning curve, but I've got you covered. You guys know that you can always ask me questions. You can send me emails too. I'm always happy to help in any way that I can. So definitely be sure to let me know what you guys want to see or recipes that I can help you master. So I have just kind of kneaded this into a ball here. You can see it comes together. It's not sticking to my hands. It's just a little bit of flour dust there. And we're going to divide this into 4. So I have one of these little bench scrapers. You don't need that. You can just score it with a knife. You can score it with your hands. Again, you don't need any fancy tools. Just cut it into 4 equal pieces. And then just going to roll it into a rope. We're going to shape it so that it looks like a bagel. And if for some reason you felt like, hey, these aren't really coming together, you might just need a little bit more flour. You can see here I have about 1/2 cup of flour left in the bowl. So I only used 1.5 cups of flour for 1 cup of Greek yogurt. Again, you could use anywhere from 1.25 cup to 2 cups of flour. That's going to depend on the humidity in your kitchen and in your area. So Arizona is going to have a little less humidity than, say, South Carolina, where I am at. We have a lot of humidity here in the summer. Oh, I'm so glad that you love my Instant Pot recipes. I definitely have more coming. I'm always experimenting. Sometimes things don't go so well. And I experiment with things several times so that we know we can get it right for you guys so that you don't have to waste your ingredients. I also test everything in a 6-quart and an 8-quart. Usually both work really well, but that way I can just ensure everything turns out. So I have my bagel here. It's just, pseudo bagel. So it was about 7-8 inches in length, and then I just kind of formed it together, set that to the side there, and then repeat. And so I have 4. I'm just going to do 2 right now just to show you. That way you don't have to watch me roll all of these or that, but you're just going to form it into a rope. And then as for the bagel toppings, last week I talked to you guys about egg-free recipes, and one of the things I mentioned was if a recipe calls for an egg wash, which a lot of these Greek yogurt bagels, 2-ingredient bagels is what they're called, whether they're in the air fryer or the oven, say that you should use an egg wash to brush them so that they get nice and golden, and that you can add some ingredients and stick to them. You do not need an egg wash. You can certainly use an egg to brush over your bagels if desired, if that's what you have on hand. Some of you are lucky to have chickens, and so you have an abundant supply of eggs. I'm not so lucky, but you can use buttermilk, you can use olive oil, you can use a little bit of aquafaba. That was another one that I had mentioned last week. You can use a little bit of buttermilk or milk. Or you don't really need to brush them with anything. You could even use melted butter if I didn't say that already. Okay, so I have 2 here ready to go. Get this flour out of the way. Wipe off my hands here. We'll get these going and then I'll make the other ones. You can fit 4 or 5 in typical size air fryers here, bagels, but I will show you a couple. I'll get a couple going so that we can finish up the rest while these cook. So here, I have my basket and I have a ceramic coated air fryer. I love this one. It's called Aria, it's brand. So it's just, I appreciate the ceramic coating just for less of the toxic chemicals and stuff like that. But it works with any air fryer, works in the oven too. So if you need to bake these in the oven, you just get a baking sheet and spray it with cooking spray generously, or parchment paper, line it with parchment paper. I just used extra virgin olive oil cooking spray. Avocado cooking spray works. Pam works too. And then you want to pop your bagels in your air fryer in a single layer. Let's see if I can show you that there. Then this is where the fun comes. You get to put whatever you want on your bagel. You can keep them plain. You can top them with our favorite, everything bagel seasoning, which is just sesame seeds, sea salt, garlic powder, onion flakes. You don't need to purchase the special blend. I really need to make my own blend to share with you guys because it's so easy to do and absolutely delicious. It's a little bit of poppy seeds. You could do cinnamon sugar. My son would love that. He has a sweet tooth. We went out for bagels locally here last week when he was here for spring break, or 2 weeks. Well, it's been almost 2 weeks now. And he got sweet and the rest of us got savory. But anyways, you want to brush these with, if you're adding something, you want to brush them with a little bit of buttermilk, egg white, egg wash. I'm using olive oil today. That's what I had. And then just add a little bit of your sprinkles on for some flavor. And then you're going to air fry these at 350 degrees, which is about 175 degrees Celsius, for 10 to 12 minutes. And you don't have to flip them, which is great. So just pop them in the air fryer. And let me see if I can show you. Every air fryer is different in how you set the temperature, but let's see if you can see it here. Sometimes the blue flashing lights make it a little bit crazy. So it's 370, so I'm gonna hit this again and adjust the temperature to 350. Hit again and adjust the time to 10 minutes, and then it'll just kind of do its thing, and in 10 minutes we'll give those a check. So hopefully that sound isn't bugging you guys too much. Actually, hey Layla, could you maybe move this out of the way? I'm gonna get my daughter just to move that so that you guys don't have to hear the air fryer and we can check on it here in a little bit. I'm gonna keep rolling the remaining 2 bagels. And then if you guys just want to chat, give me some ideas about what you want to see in the future, any questions you have. I'm game. So yeah, let me know requests. It's so nice to get to talk with you guys. I love your comments on my videos. I love hearing from you guys. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Layla's not gonna come say hi sorry, that one's off the table. You know how teenagers can be. How many of you if you have kids, if they're on spring break? My son was home last week for his college spring break, and then my daughter has spring break in 2 weeks. So it's not so fun when the kids are on different holiday breaks, but it's great when I get to see them both. All right, I've made the other 2 bagels here. Let's see. What did I make for dinner? What are you making for dinner? So I'm going to be real. This is a real moment here. Very honest with you. This is one of my go-tos. So I got in really late last night. I had flown out to Ohio for a couple days, as I mentioned earlier. I have family in Ohio. I also have a doctor that I was going to see in Ohio. Many of you know I have cystic fibrosis, and so I need to keep up with doctors and specialists, and so I had a great appointment. Good news there. And then got to see my family, but got in late last night. All that to say, I haven't had a chance to go to the grocery store, and so we are making do with what I call a pantry meal. My family, while I've been gone, my husband has been living on like March Madness foods, so pizza, nachos, things like that. Like this is his annual eat all the junk food while he's watching March Madness, and I had made some buffalo chicken for him and had it in the freezer. But all that to say, tonight we have very limited things in the house. So I'm making my black bean tacos. That is one of my go-tos. I just take a can of black beans, some jarred salsa, and mix it together. So you don't need anything else really. And then a little bit of lime. We have a little lime tree I'm not allowed to touch, but my husband has grown a lime tree. And so we'll pull lime off, and that just kind of like brightens it all up. I mix the beans with the salsa, and then we put it in some taco shells. We don't have any lettuce tonight, so that's kind of a bummer, but typically I top it with lettuce and cabbage, and we are just gonna do that tonight with some fruit and call it dinner. So it's gonna be really, really, really simple tonight. Sundays I typically make a big meal, but not this week. So we're doing that. Ew, Curtis, I know black bean tacos aren't for everybody, but it is a quick, cheap, easy meal that we actually love. And I actually have a little bit of, I do have some avocados that are here that are ready to go. So we'll mash up some avocados with some lime, and we love it. I would love to hear what everybody else is having for dinner. And you know, with the black bean tacos, I'm using canned black beans. I love to make dried beans, as you guys know, in my Instant Pot, and I typically make a big batch and then keep some in the freezer. But I always, in my pantry, I always have cans of beans. I always have jarred salsa. I always have tomato sauce. I always have pasta. I don't eat plants, eat only meat and eggs and fish. Well, you know, so yeah, black bean tacos are not gonna be your thing. But I'm sure you would love my pot roast, which is a wonderful Sunday supper meal. Short ribs, all that is delicious in the Instant Pot. Chocolate chip, oh, that sounds delicious. Some chocolate chips and nut cookies, love it. I have a recipe coming out for my chocolate chip cookies, just my good old fashioned chocolate chip cookies. I'm so excited to share. I don't know why I haven't shared them before, probably because there's so many chocolate chip cookie recipes. Mine is been tested on college boys, and they devour them. They have voted these the best chocolate chip cookies they've ever had. We've experimented with a few different little tweaks, but we've gone back to the classic, and so excited. They're a little bit salty, super easy. You don't need to chill them. You don't need to have room temperature butter. So I can't wait. Those should be coming in the next 2 weeks. So look for that. You'll see a short video come out about that, and you'll see it post on my blog. And yes, you would love my pot roast, I'm sure. Oh, brisket's delicious. Pork belly. When it's done right, it is very good. That is for sure. But yes, so just a few minutes. Steak with fries. Oh, that sounds delicious. We did steak dinners last weekend for my son for his birthday. That was his birthday request. So I always do we did fillets last week. I love to just sear them in the cast iron skillet, pop them in a hot oven after they've been seared, let them cook to temperature. You only need salt, pepper. So easy, so perfect. With baked potatoes, my Instant Pot baked potatoes. So yeah, gosh, I'm getting hungry. But steak and fries sound delicious. And you should try those air fryer fries if you have an air fryer. If not, you can, everything that you make in the air fryer, you can easily make in the oven. I have a recipe for oven baked fries too. That was our staple before I got the air fryer. I'll be honest, the air fryer is just quick, and I love that I don't have to preheat the oven. But when I'm making a large tray of fries, I definitely opt for the oven. Let me check on these bagels. Ooh, top with butter, the steak. Yes, absolutely, I forgot that part. A pat of butter on that steak or a pat of butter on your baked potato are both delicious. Okay, we just have a couple minutes left on those bagels. I will check on that here. Curtis, I'm so grateful that you subscribed. You'll find many delicious recipes, many meat recipes, and some not meat recipes here, but you can skip those and just enjoy the meat recipes. Oh, thank you so much, Barefoot Chickens. I'm so glad that you love my videos, and I'm jealous that you have chickens and eggs right now. That I'm sure is a great thing to have with all the egg shortages and rising food costs and all that. And okay, so let me just quickly check on these bagels. I'll be right back. Ooh, they are perfect, you guys. See them in the basket there. Look at how golden they are. And that you can see the everything bagel seasoning stuck perfectly on there without an egg wash. We just used a little bit of olive oil. They're a little bit hot here, so let me see. I have hands of steel. That's not so good just because, you know, I'm always cooking and touching things, but look at that. Looks so good. I want to let it cool for just a second so I can cut it open and show you what the inside looks like. You know, this has kind of been a recipe that's been cottage cheese and Greek yogurt are having a moment where we are using them in so many different ways to get extra protein and calcium in. Honestly, I've made a Greek yogurt pizza dough for years when I needed something quick. It's just a quick, easy way to make dough too. So it's not going to taste like a hand-rolled bagel, but let's see what it tastes like. Let's see what it looks like inside. You do want to let these cool a little bit longer than I have here, clearly. Anytime you make bread, if you try to cut it after it's gotten out of the oven or air fryer, it's going to kind of deflate a little bit. But for the purpose of a live video, I'm going to cut it open right now. I'll sacrifice. I don't care if it's not perfectly beautiful after it's been sliced. So you can see here, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's got some nice air pockets there. And let's see, it's going for a bite. You can see the steam, or maybe you can't. I can't really see it on the video. I can see it in front of my eyes though. Okay. Very. Like a bagel, it's got a little bit of a chew to it, so it took a minute there. It's got a little bit of a tang from the yogurt, which I really, really appreciate. And it's soft, but yet chewy, and the everything bagel seasoning on the top of it is delicious. This would be so much better with a little bit of cream cheese on it and some additional bagel seasoning. It would be fabulous, which I definitely will do once it's cooled down. But all in all, not bad. And so, you know, with just a few ingredients, we made some bagels that are higher in protein, you know, relatively low in fat. If you guys used low fat yogurt, they're delicious. They're easy. It's kind of just a nice little easy snack, right? And you could even let these cool and top them with pizza sauce and cheese and make little pizza bagels. Does it need salt? No, the dough does not need salt. So the self-rise flour that I made here had salt in it. So it is to make self-rise flour, for every 1 cup of all-purpose flour, add a 1/4 teaspoon of iodized salt. This is one time I recommend table salt over kosher salt, so it kind of just melts into the flour. And 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. You mix that up, and then that's essentially what self-rise flour is. So there's no need to buy self-rise flour. So the self-rise flour has, the bagels already have salt in them. And then I topped it with this everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's, which honestly, I just need to make my own seasoning blend and share that with everybody. It's got some kosher salt, some sea salt in it. It's sesame seeds, sea salt, minced garlic, black sesame seeds, and poppy seeds. So that's super simple to throw together too. So the topping did have some salt in it, and I do like that little bit of salt that I'm getting in there. So maybe without it, it was. But really, that would be great too, is just to sprinkle your bagels, brush them with a little bit of olive oil, and then sprinkle them with some sea salt. That would be amazing too. So perfect. Or Parmesan cheese, wouldn't that be delicious? Like grate some fresh Parmesan cheese over them and let them air fry and get that cheesy, bubbly topping. I might do that with the next couple too there. But that's it. It was so easy. I was inspired by your guys' requests to have some more air fryer and high protein recipes, threw them together, made something quick and easy using things most of you might have on hand. So hopefully you guys liked it. Thank you so much for joining me all over the world. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate you. Stay tuned as I just continuing to produce new recipes that I'm so excited to share with you guys. Have a fabulous, fabulous Sunday. Take care. Thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.